20% of people that understand that the future of work is going to look very different from what it is now. So keep watching. Let's see where we're heading. It's also exciting, right? Siri will recognize your voice even if you're 5 meters away from your phone. That new chatbot feels totally real. Self-driving cars are no longer fiction. You can analyze your DNA. You tried flying that drone for the first time, and you're thinking of buying a smart speaker to make your life so much easier. A few years from now, and that's something like 3 years, not 30, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, mass 3D printing, biotechnology, chatbots, virtual reality, deep learning, drones, augmented reality, smart objects will all be deeply enrooted in our everyday lives. Just like computers, phones, or electricity are for us today. Oh well, is this really gonna happen? And if it does, you'll adapt when the time comes, right? Life is good. You love your job. You've been working for this established company for a few years. You're comfortable in your position. You know what you're good at. People like you, and that last presentation you gave got you some amazing reactions. You're safe with your company. In the meantime, you see an article or two speculating on the future of jobs. McKinsey published a report stating that 45% of all current tasks could be automated with present technology. The World Economic Forum estimates that 33% of jobs in 2020 don't even exist yet. But what do they know, right? You've got time. Oh look, the supermarket just introduced self-cashier machine. You're at the airport checking in luggage. What the heck happened to all the real people at the check-in desk? Gone. Replaced by machines. But it's only the low-skilled jobs, right? Nope. Think again. In 2012, there were 150,000 humans working on Wall Street. 3 years later, automation has cut that number down to 100,000. That's 1/3 gone. But it's only the mathematical and scientific jobs, right? Nope. Think again. This Japanese insurance company, Fukuoka Mutual Life Insurance, is already replacing all its human insurance claim workers with an AI system that will handle customers more efficiently. See these articles? They're written by algorithms, and we can't tell the difference with human written content. And thinking of converting yourself to being an online poker player? Too late. There's an AI that can already beat humans at it. Most journalists, tax consultants, marketeers, technicians, knowledge workers, lawyers, even the person editing this video right now will to some extent have been impacted or automated by technology in a couple of years. And what have you been doing? Probably watching Netflix. And the problem is, the machines don't wait. And the machines, they don't watch Netflix.
Our friends in Growth Tribe in Amsterdam did this video in 2017. This is when we started European Leadership University. And at that time, we built European Leadership University with the passion that I share with Kristen to provide affordable education to young people around the world, which I think 50% of the university graduates right now either unemployed or underemployed. And we also built European Leadership University to solve the challenges of company like SumUp, like Pamela shared with us, because as the young people cannot find jobs, the companies who wants to grow, they cannot find the people that they need. And we build it for the reasons that Svenja, you shared with us, because we needed to change the education system. And the way we found it is, I think we could hack into the education system with an experiment where European Leadership University, as a fully accredited university that works as a recruiter for employers by doing employer partnerships before we launch the programs for the jobs that has shortage of people. And it works as a talent accelerator for the young people around the world, providing affordable education in this changing landscape of jobs. And if you see, millions of jobs are disappearing already, and millions of jobs will be replacing them. And so we are a university built on skills gap, and upskilling and reskilling is what we do. And how do we differentiate? So upskilling is something I've been doing last 30 years of my life. So we go to companies and skill up their employees working in the jobs for the competencies they developed, which has been easy, but we are now going through dramatic times. Like, as we've seen in the first video, you know, as if they predicted 2020 with the COVID crisis, you know, all of a sudden we've had the change of 30 years in 3 years, in 3 months. By March, it was all happened. So now we are in the age of reskilling. So reskilling is really getting the skills that we don't know that we need it before. For the jobs that we need, we don't know that it existed. So, according to World Economic Forum, and you see a lot of research by McKinsey, World Economic Forum, Bain, Boston Consulting Group, in Europe and the world, at least 50% of the current workforce requires reskilling. We're talking about millions of people. But at the same time, this is, I find fascinating because it reminds me the number of the university graduates, 50% of the university graduates in Southern Europe, in Spain, in US, either unemployed or underemployed. What do I mean with underemployed? They graduate from a business administration program and they go and work as a cashier at H&M or work as a barista at Starbucks. They are wonderful jobs, but they didn't need a $10,000 degree to be a barista in Starbucks because Starbucks gives you a great training. So, hey, how many have you seen the movie Hidden Figures? Yes, this is a great movie about African American mathematicians who put the first American orbital space flight with John Glenn. And at that time, they were the human computers. Can I have the sound, please? Well, it's okay.
Holy Moses, that's lightning fast.
They'll never get that to work.
Oh, it'll run eventually.
Dorothy
When it
Wogan,
does, we have to know how to program.
98 years old.
Unless you'd rather be out of a job.
No, ma'am.
So they were being replaced by computers at that time who were human computers,
Z.
these mathematicians.
I got a court date.
And
The
what did they
computer
do?
uses it as its high-speed storage unit
They
and
learned
information
Fortran.
holding device.
The language of the
You have a brain.
machines.
That I can
And
work with.
they transformed themselves into what
Oh, that's in the
today's
wrong
data
spot.
scientists.
Atta girl.
So this is the mandate for us today, what Dorothy Wogan, Katherine Johnson did at that time. So we have programs around technology, software engineering, data science, AI, and our students at the data science program, they always ask me, what's going to happen to data science in 5 years from now? I'll tell them, your title will disappear. They say, why are we studying? Because data science is the hottest job. Being a data scientist is so sexy. I say, your title will disappear because in 5 years from now, the marketing manager will have to be a data scientist. The finance manager will have to be a data scientist. A purchasing manager will have to be a data scientist in the age of AI. Because the dramatic change that we are having right now, the traditional worker is being replaced by the machines. And the traditional manager is now the data scientist. So what we teach at the MBAs right now becoming obsolete because if you don't meet with your new co-worker, which are the machines, I think your role will be obsolete. So the other question I always receive, will machines get our jobs? Will robots get our jobs? I say no, but the people who can work with the machines will get your jobs. So can we do what Dorothy Wogan had done, that learn to work with our new co-workers? Because they are taking over our tasks, in an increasing pace. And you hear these top skills of the future, and everywhere and they are made by analysts lots of times on a desktop research. And lots of times, I think most of these people, they have never worked with skills in the way that we work. I love cooking. The first time I wanted to do hummus, how many of you like hummus? The Middle Eastern, exactly. I love cooking, but in my early times of cooking, one day I said, okay, I want to do hummus for my guest this evening. So hummus is easy, very. You boil the chickpeas, and then you put tahini and some spices. That's great. So I have like 3 hours for the guest. I take the recipe. The recipe says, take the chickpeas that you soaked the night before. These skills are like that. You know, by the time you employ people, if you want to build these skills, it's too late. They require a long time and a different setting to build, because they are not, we're not talking about coding or anything here. They are very complex skills. Critical thinking, complex problem solving, and we can teach these skills either at schools or at the university or in the family. And by the time we have people lacking these skills in the organizations, it's a little bit too late. So, okay, some of us can claim some of these skills can be taught in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But our experience at European Leadership University with the students we have, and also we work with organizations to develop and reskill their talent, is it requires much different approach. So I will talk about this in 2 angles. From an educational system perspective, so the education system needs to reinvent itself, going beyond courses and diplomas. So we call this full stack education. So the education system should work hand in hand with the industry, making sure we understand the skills that are needed and is dynamically changing every day, and then linking these skills with credentials, which is our quality assurance in a way, so that makes us different than a boot camp. But then also working with employers, then we provide the skills and credentials together with jobs. Our students get jobs before they graduate. The data scientists, software engineers, from the companies that we partnered before. This is like the chickpeas we soaked the night before. So they work with them, and this is, I think, how we can solve both the problem of skills gap and the problem of underemployment. And so this is the experiment we're doing, and so far we're learning. And our ambition is, in 12 years from now, reaching out to 1 million students, making it affordable, making our programs completely tuition-free with the funding from the employers, and placing all of them directly or indirectly to jobs. But also, we can do things in the employers that we work, and these employers actually face these challenges, reskilling challenges in the digital transformation. And what we learn from the digital transformation, okay, these skills are actually always taught, that they can be taught cognitively and individually, but learning is not only individual and cognitive. Learning is also social and experiential. So we have to build environments that can nurture learning in a social setting and with experiential journeys. And so therefore the culture is very important. So I think what we are missing from the old times of the school system, which these skills are not taught for whatever the reason, we can rectify that in the organizations with the right culture. And the organizations who do that do it with Agile practices. How many of you are familiar with Agile? Or how many of you are working in a company practicing Agile? Wonderful. So Agile practices is a wonderful way. If you don't do it, try it in your organization to build these skills. But on top of that, it comes with a growth mindset in a work environment that's completely redefined. And throughout all of that, you can experiment with new technology solutions, and this is bringing all these four together. I think we can create an environment, a culture that nurtures all these skills, where people are finding opportunity to reskill themselves. So, but this is just the beginning. I mean, we are in the verge of something, a tsunami that's ahead of us. How many of you know distributed ledger technologies? And how many of you know blockchain? And yeah, So, and if I say Bitcoin, everybody. But distributed ledger technology is the technology behind blockchain is going to change everything we do. The banks, the education, the government. So whatever the change that we prepare today will prepare us for a bigger change that's ahead of us. And I think that will be more like a fitness exercise for a bigger game that we're going to play. So in summary, I think in the times of dramatic change, we need reskilling at scale that for the skills that will take a lot of time, using experiments like full stack education, and also making it sure that the learning is not only individual and cognitive, but it's also taken as a social and experiential way. And when we do it in our organizations, we pay attention to our culture before thinking about digital transformation so that we are ready for the next revolution. Thank you very much.